Hi, we're going to be talking about comparing fractions, decimals, and percents. And you always need to make sure that you put your number in the same format. And I'm going to be using the decimal and the percent way of doing things because with a fraction, the fractions are always harder to work with because you always have to work with the common denominator, put your fractions in common denominator, in order to compare the numerators. And it's just a little bit harder. You can do it, and if you choose to do it, that's fine. I'm just going to show you how we change them to decimals and percents. Here I've got four numbers, and I'm going to change them or convert them to decimals. I've got a 0.2, which is already in decimal form. I'm going to divide 1 divided by 4, which gives me 0.25. I know when I am converting from a percent to a decimal, I am moving my place value over 2 points to the left, which is going to give me a 0.02 or 2 hundredths. And then I know that 3/20ths can be divided by 3 divided by 20, which is going to give me 0.15. As you can see, I have lined this up right here so I can compare my tenths column. And I look for the lowest number, which is going to be 0.02, and I look up here for 0.02, and I know that 0.02 is my 2%. So 2%, I'm going to write it in its original form, number form that I had up here. The next one is going to be 0.15, which is going to be 3/20ths, is going to be my next highest number. I'm going to then look and say I've got a 0.20 and a 0.25, and I know that 0 is smaller than 5, so my 0.20 is going to be my number. I just filled in the 0, which is going to be 0.2. And my next highest number, or the highest number, is going to be 1/4. Okay? We're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to convert all of these numbers into percents and compare them through the percent way. I know that anytime I have a 0.2, in order to change a decimal to a percent, I'm going to move it two place values to the right, the decimal. That's going to give me 20%. The next one, I know that 1/4 divided by 4 is 0.25. Move that decimal two places to the right, it gives me 25%. This is already in a percent form, so this is going to be 2%. And when I divided 3 divided by 20, I got 0.15. Move that place value two places to the right, and I got 15%. So when I'm looking at this, I know that 2% is my smallest number, so I'm going to write 2% down here, and I'm going to go back and write it in the original form. I'm going to come up here, and I know that 15% is my next highest number, which is going to be 3/20ths. And when I come down here, I know that 20% is smaller than 25, so this is going to be 0.2, and this is going to be 1/4. And if you notice, I have the same values the same way. I just found one as being a decimal and the other one through percents, so I was able to order them. Let's look at some word problems that we have. We've got Ronaldo, Messi, and I are practicing penalty kicks on the soccer field. I make 72%, Ronaldo makes 19/25ths of his goals, and Messi makes 0.67 of his shots. Who makes the fewest? Who makes the fewest is the answer. We know that we've got 19/25ths, we've got 72%, and we've got 67 hundredths. I'm going to change all of these into percents to make sure that I can, to know that I can go ahead and order these. I know if I put 72%, so I'm 72%. I know that Messi is, if I move the decimal point two places to the right, okay, he's going to have 67%. And I know that I need to divide 19 divided by 25. So I'm going to say 19 goes into 20, or 25 goes into 19. And I know it does not. I can put a 0 here if I want to. Add a 0. And I know that 25 will go into 200 4 times. We'll go in there 8 times, but this is a little bit less than 200, so this has got to be 7. So 7 times 5 is going to be 35, carry my 3. 7 times 2 is going to be 14, plus my 3 is going to be 17. And when I subtract this, I'm going to come over here and borrow, and this is going to leave me with 10. That leaves me with 5. 8, that's 15. Bring down a 0, add a 0, and bring it down. I know that 25 will go into 150 6 times. So I'm going to say 6 times 25 should give me 150 with nothing left over. And so I know that 0.76 moved 2 places to the right to give me my percent is going to be, Ronaldo is going to have 76%. So if I go back and read my question, who makes the fewest of their shots on goal, I know that it has to be Messi because 67% is lower than the 72% that I have and the 76 that Ronaldo has. Let's look at another word problem. I've got, you make 75% of your shots, your sister makes 13/20 of her shots, and your friend makes 0.7% of his shots. Well, I know I've got a percent, I've got a decimal, and I've got a fraction. I'm going to change this into decimals just because we did the other one with percents. If I've got 75%, I'm going to change that by moving the decimal 2 places to the left. That equals 0.75. Okay? If I look at my sister, I'm going to say 13 divided by 20. I know it will not go in there, but I know that I can add a decimal, bring it up, add a 0, and 20 will go into 130 6 times. So 6 times 0 is 0, 6 times 2 is 12, and that's going to leave me with 1 0. I need to add a 0 and bring it down. And I know that 20 will go into 100 5 times. So 5 times 20 is 100. So that is going to give me nothing left over. So I know that 13/20 is going to equal to 0.65. And I know that my friend has got 0.7. Okay? If I add a 0 to that, now I can compare. It wants to know who makes the most shots. I had the 0.7, I had the 13/20, and I had the 75%, and I chose to change it to decimals. If I look at this, I'm looking for the highest decimal place value, and I know that that's going to be 0.75. And who has 0.75? Me. So I know that I am going to have the most shots on goal. And this is some of the things that we're going to be doing. We're going to choose. I will tell you sometimes what I want you to convert it back into and do some comparisons. And sometimes I'm going to have you decide which one is the best for you. We'll do some of these tomorrow in class.